Hello and welcome back. In this video, we are going to focus on how to loop over all the items in a list, okay? And this is not our official introduction to looping in Python, but we know enough of the list data type to be able to learn how we can loop over it. And by loop, what I mean is we want to write code that affects each of the individual items in a list one after the other. Okay, so to do that, I have created a file called listloop.py. So I'm going to look for that file here, and then we open it, and we are going to stick with our menu list that we've been working with up until this point. Okay, and the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to paste it here. Now what I want to do is I want to say each of these meals in the menu is delicious. Okay, so I want to say sushi is delicious, pizza is delicious, batura is delicious, chicken sabji is delicious, noodles is delicious, and bangkun is delicious. How will you do this? Well, until this time, I am sure the way you do it is you print. You will use indexing to start indexing from 0 all the way to the end, and then you repeat the program statement yourself. But there's an automatic way we can do this, and it is called looping. Okay, so we are going to loop over each of the items on the menu, and we say that item is delicious. Well, the way to do that is you write for, and it reads like English. Okay, so I can say for, let's say, meal in menu. I'm using a simple example here, so I'm just going to print the meal, just this simple code. Okay, now let's concentrate on line 2 and what it means. It says for meal in menu. I want you to read it this way: for each meal in the menu. And because the menu is a list, when you say for each meal, it reads just like how you read things in English, and the understanding is almost the same. So if I give you a pile of books and I say read each book in this pile of books, I'm saying read them one after the other. So when we say for meal in menu, the meal stands for the current item in the list. Okay, so it will start from sushi. When it is on sushi, meal will be equal to sushi. When it moves to pizza, meal will be pizza. When it moves to batura, meal will be batura. So meal is actually a variable that we are using in the loop. Okay, so let's execute this simple program, and then you see what I mean about that. So I'll say Python 3 list loop, and you can see that I'm getting the individual meal on the meals on the menu. So starting from sushi, pizza, batura, chicken sabji, noodles, and bangkun. So this is where the ordering aspect of list becomes evident. You can see that when we loop over it, it will show us in the order in which they were created. Okay, so you use the for statement, and then you give it a placeholder variable name that it is going to use in every iteration of the loop. And by iteration, what I mean is it is going to start from sushi, execute it, and then it will come to pizza. It will do that all the way until the end of the list has been reached, and then the last statement will come. Okay, let me add the last statement so that you understand what I mean. And before we do that, remember that I said Python uses indentation for scoping. Okay, so the moment you see the colon here, it is similar to what we did with the if statement. When we bring it, it means we want to indent our code. So everything under the for loop will have to be repeated until the end of the menu list have been reached. Okay, so if I want to print at the end of everything, I want to say, wow, you have a great menu. I can say, wow, you have a great menu. Okay, now let's run this program and let's see how it differs from the previous one. So you can see that it says sushi, pizza, batura, chicken sabji, noodles, bangkun before it says, wow, you have a great menu. You would do yourself a great disservice if you didn't indent line 5 very well. Like if I moved it to be indented under the for loop, then what I mean by this code is it should print the name of each meal, and it should also print, wow, you have a great menu after printing each meal. So let's see this. So I'll run it again, and you can see that, no, I didn't save this. Let me save and run again. Now I'm going to clear screen and run again. You can see that now it says sushi, wow, you have a great menu. Pizza, wow, you have a great menu. Batura, wow, you have a great menu. That is not what we intended to do. We want to print all the meals in the menu before we print, wow, you have a great menu after it all. So we need to make sure that this print statement is not indented under the for loop, because all the statements under the for loop will be repeated until the end of the list has been reached. Okay, so now we want to say, wow, you have a great menu, but we want to call each meal and say that meal is delicious. Okay, so I'm going to use f strings here, and then I'll say is delicious. Okay, so we save this, we come here, run this program again, and it says sushi is delicious, pizza is delicious, batura is delicious, everything is delicious. And then in the end it says, wow, you have a great menu. So this is how you loop over each item in a list. And I made us do this because I want us to have an exercise after this where we will have to use the for loop. So make sure you understand this, and I promise we are also going to treat looping in a separate section, and we will meet this again. But this is simple enough for you to understand. So spend some time, make sure you understand it, and let's take a quick break. After the break, we will do an exercise that uses this looping technique that we've learned about. So I'll see you very soon.